Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming to our first Algorand Foundation Student Club Happy Hour. No forks, no problems. We're excited to have you here today. Please go ahead, introduce yourself in the chat. Tell us where you're calling in from. Put in some information about your club. Thank you for bearing with us and starting a little late. We really appreciate it. We're really excited to have so many of you here today for this first event. And let me introduce myself. My name is Doro Unger-Lee. I'm the head of university programs at Algorand Foundation. And I'll introduce the team here real quick. Ronan is our colleague from marketing. So you'll see him posting some polls on the chat, asking you some questions. So please respond. The chat's here for you to say hi and really connect with each other. I also want to introduce you to Hugo, our principal researcher. He will tell you a little bit more about the Algorand protocol. And then Pigi, who is our gaming lead, he will give you an introduction about the creator economy and NFTs and metaverses. So welcome from us. We are located in the United States and Ireland and in England tonight. So it's good to see so many international faces here. Hi, Patrick. Good to see you. Hi, Chichi. Nice to see you. So lots of familiar faces. Very nice. Let's get started. Let me just give you a quick overview of what you can expect today. So first, I'll give you a quick overview of the Algorand University program, what we're doing with universities, how we're working with students and with faculty. Again, Hugo will give you an introduction to Algorand and how it works and why it's different from other protocols. PG will discuss NFTs and metaverses, and then we'll have some time for your questions. So please save them to the end of these two talks. And then I'll tell you more about our student club bounty, which will be super exciting, we hope, for you. And then I also want to invite you to start networking in our newly established student club Discord channel. It's brand new today. We just launched it. So please go ahead and log in there. We'll give you more information. And this is also where you will get your NFT badge. You can see an image here on the slide. And then all of you that are here today, you will get an NFT from Taigechi, our partners, and we will reach out to you within a few days next week to make sure you can participate in the NFT shuffle. So we have a great collection going on. Thanks for Taigechi. I know Tian is here tonight. Thanks a lot for helping us with this. And yeah, so without further ado, let's dive right in. So at Algorand Foundation, we have a variety of university partners, and I'm just highlighting a few right here. We're working together with the Princeton Blockchain Society, for example, which we're very proud of. We also work with the University of Florida. We recently launched a blockchain lab, and you may have seen some talks from Hugo and PG there as well. We do work with UC Berkeley. We work with Peking University in China. We also founded the Blockchain Law for Social Good Center at the Golden Gate School of Law, which we're very happy about because it connects law students to blockchain. And then we're also supporting research at Monash University, at the University of Maryland in College Park. And we're also partners for the SciLab at Carnegie Mellon. So you can see we have lots of big names here, but lots of geographic diversity as well. And we work with, like schools of management like Bocconi, UC Berkeley, and then other really big schools. We support research. We work with students. We fund events. So we're really doing a variety of different things. And here you can see a little bit about our current engagements. So some of the faculty you're probably familiar with. Dan Bonnet from Stanford, it's really famous. We also work with Zhao T. Deng at Peking University, Elaine Chi, Lon Song, and Kopia George. These are all names that are probably very familiar to you. And you can see here a little overview of current and past engagements where we're spread geographically. So you can see that we actually have a wide geographic reach, and we're really, our approach is very inclusive and diverse. So we're hoping to make pie a little more colorful in the near future, but we're very proud of what we have achieved so far. So welcome to everybody who's here. There's a lot of activity in the chat. That's wonderful. And we also want to highlight our ACE program. You've probably heard about it already. This is sort of our flagship program as part of the university program. We call it the ACE program because it's the Algorand Centers of Excellence program, and we'll very soon launch our network of 10 universities across the world who will work with us to advance research, support innovation, and also help with blockchain curriculum. And this is a very student-centric and diverse program. So a lot of these universities are working with other universities in different countries, and we really want to make the students the focus of this program. So I think we will announce the winners of the grant recipients very soon, and I think it'll be exciting and very impactful for students in blockchain. So yeah, we can't wait to really kick this off. So Hugo, over to you to give us an introduction about Algorand.
Okay, hi, thanks Doro. Thanks everyone for coming and participating, and we are very excited to have all of you, and we really want these relationships to last for many years and for several generations of students. I'm part of the research group in the foundation, Algorand Foundation. Among my responsibilities also running together with Doro our university programs. And as Doro said, the students are a main focus for us. We are really excited about the fact that technology these days is bottom up. Students are more excited and interested and knowledgeable of technologies like blockchain than many professors. So we really like to work with you and to support you. Next slide. I'm having some technical difficulties, so the slides will be actually moved by Doro. So next slide. Okay, so I cannot read my own slides. So basically, I want to tell you a little bit about the features or some of the properties of the Algorand protocol, and also give you a little bit, just a taste of the technical basis for properties. So the I have I really cannot read. I'm talking from a phone. So sorry for the. The Algorand protocol is scalable to billions of users. I say a little bit why is that. Currently, we have support 1,000 transactions per second. We are going to go back to 10,000 in a couple of months. Every 4.5 seconds, a block is added, and that has been happening for 3 years without interruption. Also, this will improve to 2 seconds, the latency. The transaction fees are very low. Today, it's a tenth of a cent of a dollar. And the confirmation time, which is 10 minutes in Bitcoin and 2 to 5 minutes in Ethereum, it's just 4 seconds for Algorand. Now, there are many, next slide. Yeah, and in addition to that, we have this support for smart contracts. We will not be talking about that. But the basis for all these properties that we're saying is the Algorand consensus. So to motivate it, let me start with the Bitcoin consensus that, as you know, is based on choosing the proponent of the next block by some lottery, something I call the reverse lottery. In a regular lottery, you have people buying tickets, then a number is announced, and whoever has the number in its ticket wins the lottery. In Bitcoin, it's reverse. I mean, first of all, a number is announced, and then everyone works hard to produce the ticket that has that winning number. So next slide. Doro, next slide. Yeah, so no, one back. And the next one. Okay, so the way this lottery is implemented in Bitcoin is by a hash function. Basically, some number is announced that depends on previous blocks, and you need to find to complement that number so that the output from the hash function has enough zeros in it, and the zeros governs how many hashes you have to do to actually have the right of producing a block. And these days, this is in billions of hashes to do that. And once someone finds that that number, everyone can check that it is the winning ticket, and the block can be proposed. Next slide. Okay, so this is actually a very, very simple idea, but because it's simple and powerful, it's also beautiful. In particular, it is the basis for the first decentralized permissionless payment system, Bitcoin. So it's why I'm saying that it's almost perfect, and the reason is that this work, this proof of work that you have to do hashing so much, actually is very, very energy consumption, to the point basically that it's the electricity consumption to produce a single block is comparable to the electricity of a medium-sized country. Next slide. Yeah, like for example Sweden. Next. So can we do better? Can we actually have the same type of mechanism to choose the next block proposer, but without spending so much energy, at a much lower cost? In particular, can we let everyone participate rather than only those that can build these farms of supercomputers to run these hashes? Is this possible? Next slide. Yeah. So this brings us to Algorand, and founded and invented by Silvio Micali, a Turing Award, and an amazing cryptographer, inventor of zero-knowledge proofs, an inventor of verifiable random functions, which is the basis for the Algorand consensus. Let me tell you a little bit about that, and how these VRFs actually give us this dream of reducing energy and allowing general participation. So basically, Algorand does the same thing as Bitcoin. It has a lottery of the same type, but here, instead of having to hash so much to resolve that lottery or that puzzle, here the work a winner has to do for that is just, instead of a huge consumption of energy, it's just an operation that takes a millisecond, or actually a fraction of a millisecond, to compute. And the result is that Algorand is the consumption for a finalized transaction. Algorand is 100 million times requires less energy relative to Bitcoin, and something like 10 million times less than Ethereum, and all of this because of the efficiency of these verifiable random functions. Okay, next. Yeah. So in these VRFs, basically every participant in the blockchain has its own verifiable function, which means that only that participant can compute its own function through a private key, while there is a public key by which everyone can actually check that if I compute a function on some value and I say my output is such and such, everyone can prove that actually that was the case. Now, the output of these VRFs are random values, but even the owner of the key, the one that computes, cannot bias it out of random. So the output that you get is random. So how do we use that in Algorand? Next slide. Yeah. So both the production and verification of the output of the VRF takes a fraction of a millisecond. So the way this is used in Algorand to mimic the choice of a block proposer in Bitcoin is that a public value is announced, again, depending on previous blocks. And also a threshold value T is announced. Now, every participant computes its own VRF locally, okay? And if the output of that function is a number which is smaller than the threshold T, then this participant, has the right to propose a block. Now, the threshold T is chosen in a way that there is only one or very few proponents of blocks, okay? And once you have just a few, a handful of block proposers, then you need a consensus algorithm, a consensus protocol to decide between these different proponents which one we choose, and of course also checking the transactions that are put inside the block. So far, without getting into more detail, just think about it that we replace the lottery of trillions of hashes, of crazy amount of energy for an operation that it takes each participant just a fraction of a millisecond to compute, okay? So now, of course, the fact that everyone can participate has a problem, because this opens us to a civil attack where, bad actors can come and flood the network and do denial of service. And the way to prevent that is, in the case of Algorand, is through proof of stake, meaning that only those that actually own stake, in our case, the currency is algos, only people that own algos can actually participate, and their participation, which in this case means their probability of winning the lottery, is proportional to the number of algos that this participant had. Okay, and the idea is that if you have enough stake in the game, in the blockchain, then you will not try to destroy it, because then you will be damaging yourself. Next slide. Okay, and as I said, the VRF is used to choose the next block proposer, but then we have to decide among a few block proposers. Maybe some of them, there may be still some actors sending a block they are not right. They don't have the right to propose. So you have to clean up all these things. And for that, you do a protocol called the consensus protocol. And in the case of Algorand, it also uses VRFs. So just one basic idea, you have, since we want to be able to support billions of participants, you don't want all of them to participate in the consensus protocol. So what we do is, for each block, we choose a random committee, a small committee, let's say of 1,000 participants, and only that committee will run the consensus. So it doesn't matter how many participants are in total in the network. It's always a subset of 1,000, but that subset changes every time, okay? And it's chosen at random. The attacker never knows which committee will be chosen. It cannot go after the members of that committee. And how are is this committee chosen at random? Again, using the VRF function and the fact that it outputs random values. Next slide. Okay, so I hope that this gives you an idea, especially in comparison with Bitcoin, on how the reduction from a crazy amount of work to produce a block reduces to just fractions of milliseconds in the participants of the block mining and the final consensus. And that's why we can support basically unlimited number of participants. That's why the transaction fees can be low. That's why our finality is and confirmation times is in the couple of seconds. So all these properties come actually from this VRF and the use of VRF in these protocols. And one final note is that I'm not sure how much you can follow from this fast presentation, but you can read a little bit more about Algorand, and what you can see is that the basic ideas are very simple. I mean, are non-trivial. You need to invent things like DRFs, but then once you have them, the ideas are very simple, and it is very important to build on simple ideas, because on any technology that is going to develop over time, and certainly this case of blockchain, if you start from something simple, then the possibility of increasing, of adapting to new settings, new applications is much better. This is something to keep in mind when thinking or learning about Algorand. So finally, call for action. Again, as we said, our focus are students. We want all of you to join us. The blockchain movement, and we will be happy to do it through Algorand, but even if not through Algorand, this is something that we believe can help change lives for good. And here we are in the Algorand Foundation, always willing to support the ecosystem, education, and any ideas, any requests, come back to us. Next slide. Doro, yeah. Okay. So there was an email address there, but you can contact us directly, Doro, me, with any ideas or requests or concerns or whatever. Thank you.
Thanks, Hugo. Yeah, our email addresses are at the end of this presentation. So I'll hand it over to Pigi, who will give you an overview of creator economy at Algorand before we dive into questions. If you do have questions, please look below the chat. There's a little icon called questions. So please put your questions in there and we'll address them after. So if you have questions for Hugo or Pigi, put them in here. And as Ronan put in the chat, if there are any polls up, please respond to them. It's super helpful for us. Thank you. Okay, Pigi, over to you.
Thanks, Doro. Thanks, Hugo, for the great presentation, and thank you all guys for asking great questions, and also for all the activity that is going on in the chat. I'll make it brief. I want to give you guys a brief overview of NFTs in case you're not familiar with them. But it seems from the questions and like the engagement that there's a lot of crypto degens here. So I'll make it again very brief. NFTs in a nutshell are token standards that provide provable ownership over digital assets. Yes, you probably may have heard of them as these JPEGs that were sold for millions of dollars. So the first real use case for NFTs was art, but there is so much more. I just want you to think about everything around you that is non-fungible and that can be tokenized, and that includes actually yourself, your identity, and things like your passport. We're miles away from that, and we gotta stick with the art for now. But please do not think as NFTs as just this magic JPEGs on the internet. Another great way of thinking of NFTs is what is called liquid IP. This is it's very useful because now through these tokens we can pretty much enable seamless transfer of digital assets. Not only that, we can use digital assets to borrow money. Things that were not doable before. So think about borrow money with a painting. Well, that takes weeks. Now we can do it in a matter of a couple of clicks. That's pretty revolutionary. In terms of money size and the amount of the market, think that global NFT sales have exceeded global art sales in 2021. And this shows how this has been impactful overall on the mainstream of NFTs. Yes, as I said, NFTs can be financial vehicles, based in communities, and we can debate whether these communities are actually real communities or speculative communities. There's definitely a lot of crap there, but there's also a lot of strong communities. So it's just a matter of finding the right fit. Next slide, Doro. Also, just want to make sure, is there any feedback that you guys hear? Just because I hear some feedback noise, but Just want to make sure.
It could be Hugo. Hugo, if you go to above the chat, there's a little bell. If you just click the link on it, it should mute all the sound notifications.
Oh, sorry. Okay, oh, great. Yeah, I thought it was me. Thanks, Ronan. Yeah, these are some numbers, just a snapshot of the industry. These are serious numbers. It shows both in volume and amount of total sales that NFTs are here to stay. They're just evolving, and we're just like at the very early stage of this market. Next slide. Doro. Oh, thank you. So you probably the classic NFT that you probably have seen out there is what is called PFP collection. Is normally around 10,000 mintable NFTs. This has been kind of like the standard in the industry. These pictures are randomly generated, which means the artist draws certain components, say a hat or glasses or a jacket, and then like an algorithm puts them together and randomly generates all these NFTs. And then another very interesting property is that normally NFT minting price are below 0.25 ETH, which is still a lot of money. We have recently seen mints that have been more than that, but this to show that like people that get in early are rewarded by minting them at like pretty cheap. Percentage of each sale, of course, goes to the artist or a DAO in a form of a treasury that will manage the funds to grow the NFT community. Normally you should be minting NFTs through the website of the project. Always be sure to check that the URL is the right one from the official page, otherwise you will get scammed. And then you can trade NFTs on secondary markets such as OpenSea, but there are so many more that are coming out. Also, several NFT collections normally reward you with a companion that you get airdropped, which is an additional NFT that gives you additional utility. And with these NFTs, you can get access to merch, events, and even oftentimes staking. So being able to stake a fungible token. Next slide. So there is some demystification that needs to happen around NFTs. It's not all, there's still some concerns. First and foremost, if we're talking about blockchain and assets being on chain, well, what is actually on chain? There's a lot of NFT collections where the actual file is not on chain. What is on chain is a link that points to an external file that is off chain. So always be conscious, always do your research of what you're buying in case you're buying, and make sure that like the actual properties of like, the reason why we're doing blockchain here are actually respected. Also, yes, we're talking about decentralization here, decentralization of the protocol level, but specifically in the NFT space, there's been a hyper centralization around applications, in particular things like marketplaces such as OpenSea, that has like the vast majority of the market share of NFTs on secondary market at the moment, which of course causes for concerns around like centralization of the application level. Another thing that is can be pretty worrisome sometimes is arbitrage between marketplaces. What that means is that the same NFT collection is listed on multiple marketplaces, and the price for the same NFT is different. So, always make sure that, the NFT that you're buying is actually from one collection that is listed on one marketplace and not on several, because that is a yellow flag, if not a red flag. So always make sure that at the very least you're buying it at like the cheapest price possible. And then the last thing is derivative collections. These have been called out, especially by the first people, like the OGs, the ones that like, for example, released Bored Ape Yacht Club. There's been so many derivative collections around that might call out for like stealing of IP or just theft of idea, because literally some of these collections are the same. We can argue again that like we're in a open and permissionless world, so anybody should be able to do whatever as long as it's not harmful. But yeah, with that said, these are some of the very cute NFTs that you can find on Algorand. Yes, there are NFTs on Algorand, and yes, you can buy them and trade them for way cheaper than Ethereum. And also, like if you are into NFTs, there are some very good, both blue chip collections already, and some others are like fairly cheap, and they're like very promising projects that if you're into NFTs, I recommend checking out. And also, I guess we're going to be sharing the slides, but in the next slide, there's some useful links for you to get started in the NFT ecosystem on Algorand. Next slide. Now we're gonna talk a little bit about Metaverse, this old buzzword that you probably have heard recently. But if you, as myself, are a millennial or even a Gen Zer, there's nothing new here to see. We've all played video games and we've all wandered around virtual worlds. This whole hype around Metaverse is being a crypto thing is actually not true. Metaverses were, around way before crypto came around. Now what crypto brings to the table is the chance to actually trade assets in a virtual world, in a virtual environment. That is powerful, but keep in mind that metaverses are not a crypto native thing. Some of them, if you have not, joined a metaverse or just checked one out, I would recommend you do so. Some of the earliest ones like Decentraland or Sandbox, you can build your own house, and it's pretty cool. It's also like a great way for brands to increase their sales revenues and just to get closer to users and consumers and to sell directly to them in a new experience, in a new way. Of course, it's a natural synergy with AR and VR. And as a matter of fact, the big question that we should all be asking ourselves, especially all those that are working on crypto metaverse, is like, what's going to happen when Meta, former Facebook, launches its metaverse? Well, that's going to be fun to watch. And as I said, this shows that like metaverses are not per se a crypto native thing. So we shall see. Next slide. We're getting to the fun stuff. So I'd like to see if you guys can guess who made this quote. Blizzard removed the damage component from my beloved Warlock Siphon lifespell. I cried myself to sleep, and on that day I realized what our centralized services can bring. Let's give it a second. I want to see if in the chat someone can guess. We have a winner, Christian Somodi. Yes, indeed, it's Vitalik. Doro, if you can click, then we will see our beloved Vitalik saying hi. Yes, that was Vitalik, and he actually literally started Ethereum out of this, pretty much. Which is a great segue in my next topic, which is gaming and crypto. So gaming was actually, back in the days, one of the first use cases that was proposed for crypto. Myself, I kind of like approached the crypto world because I was actually seeing the picture, because I was playing this very cute game called Clash of Clans, and I spent a lot of time building it up. And at one point in time, I asked myself, okay, now what? What can I do with this? Well, there's no real way to trade my village. The only way is that I would have to find somebody and actually sell my profile, aka my credentials, including a password and my personal email, to this stranger. Well, now permissionless protocols allow us to trade assets seamlessly in a secure way and in a decentralized way. So we can now again swap assets, and even now with this whole play to earn thing, earn tokens as we play. Next slide. Just breaking it down a little bit more. By crypto gaming is by many said to be the next big vertical in crypto. There's definitely a lot of overlaps. I would argue that games are very long to develop, or good games. So what we have right now with this play to earn wave is actually something that is not quite there yet in terms of like the crypto industry making a splash into gaming. I've argued that we still have some time to go and let the real games, the good quality ones, come out. Also, play to earn. If you ever play the game, you actually play the game because it's fun. You don't play the game to earn money. At Algorand Foundation, we like to say play and earn better, because it shows that you're actually playing and enjoying a game, and at the same time earning tokens, which, as I said before with my Clash of Clans example, is not a bad thing. But you want to play a game again because it's fun. There's also another sub niche within crypto gaming, which is what is called GameFi. This is literally DeFi with gaming components. You might have heard of DeFi Kingdom. It made the news by becoming top 100 token, by being the first gaming token, like a GameFi token. And it's literally like an AMM and a DEX with some cute avatars that can go around. So it brings the gaming experience to DeFi. What I said before, the crypto industry is still lacking a AAA game. That's what's gonna make us, go mainstream in terms of gaming. That's what's gonna get the gaming community real attention to crypto. And when that happens, the gaming community is huge, is tech savvy. They're great potential adopters for crypto. So waiting for that big AAA game. Hopefully, it will be built on Algorand, but we have a long way to go until that as an industry. And then last but not least, crypto games introduced this new concept of like guilds. Guilds were already around with games, but the next generation of guilds are here, especially developer guilds and also guilds that come together to play games, again, to earn tokens. This can lead to actually kind of sort of toxic dynamics, but these are actually massive communities. So we got to give it to them for bringing a lot of people together. And it's, again, definitely a great way also for people to earn extra income. Okay, that's enough for game. My next slide, so then we can segue into questions. Because I was a student not so long ago, and I wanted to share with you guys some tips and tricks in case you're interested in getting into the industry, based on my personal experience. Well, first of all, you already done the best thing you could do, joining your school's blockchain club. That is the best gateway that you can have into the industry as a student. Be also an active member, not only of your club, of your local community, as intended as like your campus and the town or city where you're in, but also be an active community of the crypto community. Volunteer at major events. That's another great way to build your own network and meet very awesome people. Participate in hackathons. You don't need to be a technical person or a developer to participate in hackathon. If you have an idea, you can form a team. You can find people. Do not hesitate. These are great ways to battle test your ideas. Another way is being active on Discord and Twitter. Create a profile. Check it out, ask questions. These are great way, again, to get information straight from the source, and also to interact with the people that are actually building the industry. Build a personal portfolio. If you're a developer, build something. This is going to be way more important for your future job in crypto than your resume. Definitely focus on your studies, but there's so much more. And especially the crypto industry will recognize and acknowledge that. Even if you're not a developer, being an active member of a community and being able to show that is a great way to build your portfolio. Complete bounties. I believe we have our Gitcoin link here. So the Algorand Foundation has several bounties out there. If you're interested, go check them out. It's a great way to get your hands dirty and at the same time earn tokens. And always, always, always do your own research. This is fundamental in crypto. Do not take other people's word for it. Always double check it. There's a lot of scam out there. There's a lot of crap. Don't follow people just because. Again, be critical. And with that said, I'll pass it back to Doro.
Thanks, Pigi. Yeah, here's some links from Pigi for your information. As I said, we have our Discord live now for Student Club, so please join that later. But now we want to take a moment and answer your questions. I see that some already submitted in the questions tab. Stefan is asking, are there Algorand hackathons? Yes, there are going to be quite a large number of global hackathons coming up. There's Hack Algo going on right now, but it's closing on April 22nd already. And then there will be a few more further down the line. I think the next one will be coming up in June. So please check out our website for more information. Let me see. Oh, Hugo, do you want to take Nicola's questions? How does Algorand make sure the size of the smart contract stays as small as possible, as the gas fees are very small compared to Ethereum?
Sorry. So it's
okay?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the question, I don't get the questions on my side. I mean, I don't know why, but the question tab doesn't appear in my screen. So can you repeat the question?
Mm-hmm. How does Algorand make sure the size of the smart contract stays as small as possible, as the fees are very small compared to Ethereum?
Well, the size of the contract depends on the logic of the contract and the way you write the program. Usually you write in a higher level language like what we call Python, but this is compiled into an executable. So the quality of the compilation and of the size of the program that you get really depend on the compiler. So we have very efficient tools to do that. But at the end of the day, it's really depends on the contract that you're writing.
Mm-hmm. Maybe PG, you want to take this question from Dawson. Do you have a favorite NFT project in Algorand? And if yes, which one?
Oh wow, shilling time. There's quite a few. There's I would say my personal favorite in terms of the art is Flemish Giant. The floor price is pretty high though, but it's a pretty cool one, and they actually are doing V2 drop in the next few days. So check that out. There's Algoana, it's a cool one. If you're into gaming, there's Alchemon. It's pretty much Axie Infinity on Algorand. It already works. There's a playable beta that you can join and earn tokens. Project A-Gear is another great one if you like card games. There's several ones. I would recommend you check out NFT Explorer app. I put the link in the slide. Is a great way for you to check out like all the trending collections with like all the different data points, floor price, total sale, like volume and all of that.
Cool. Hugo, this might be one for you. Renzo asks, any idea when state proofs will become a reality on the mainnet?
I believe that very soon they are in advanced development. I cannot tell you exactly, but I believe that we are talking about maybe a couple of months, no more than that. They are mostly implemented, but you know the things you need to deploy them very carefully with a lot of testing. But they are coming soon.
Mm-hmm. I see PG's answering to that one. Jules asks Hugo, is there an easy way to browse the content of a dApp or ASA smart contract? In Etherscan, we can easily go up the chain from a transaction, but not with Algo Explorer from what I've seen.
I can't answer that question. PG, do you know?
I was answering another one. Is there an easy way to browse the content of a dApp or an ASA smart contract? In Etherscan, you can easily go up the chain from a transaction, but not with Algo Explorer from what I have seen. You can definitely go back in terms of like transactions like from like a specific like contract on Algo Explorer. I agree, it's not like as complete as Etherscan. I'm not sure I understand like, what the content of a DApp means in terms of like the repo of the DApp. Yeah, that's one thing. There's other tools that are coming out. You can check out AlgoScan. It's another similar tool. Let me actually see if I can paste the link here. I hope that answers the question.
Okay,
before I lost my my ability to see the questions, I saw that there was a question about decentralized randomness that I wanted to answer. The question was how does Algorand generate, or it can generate decentralized randomness? So the point is that there is this amazing tool that you have local randomness that you can, even an adversary cannot bias, cannot change it. You know, if the only ways for you to bias randomness is to influence the input to the VRF, and the only way for an attacker to do that in Algorand is to get enough, you know, a majority of stake, and otherwise, even if there is some opportunities for the attacker to bias a little bit, once let's say an honest block proposer comes into play, anything that was biased before, it's forgotten. So you recover to the randomness, and therefore this iterative process ensures this global decentralized randomness. There was also a question about layer one. If we are layer one, you know, if that was answered, these very important questions. Yes, we are layer one. All transactions and all the smart contracts run on layer one. And related to the question that I was asked before about how you make sure that the contracts are small enough, what we make sure is that evaluation of the operations and the transactions themselves are very fast, and therefore we can afford the lower levels of transaction fees.
Let's just take two more questions in the interest of time. Pietro has a follow-up questions to local randomness. So he's asking, when you say local randomness, is that like an oracle, or is this a way to generate pseudo randomness in a smart contract?
It's again this VRF, these verifiable random functions that have the property that their output is random. I mean, is random, and you can the participant calculating that randomness cannot cheat, because that is verifiable randomness. If I tell you that the output of my function on input 7 is 31, then everyone can verify whether it is 31 or it is not. No one can compute it for me, but once I'm telling them what the output is, they can verify if the output is correct or not. As if the function is random, then I have two choices: or to show my random output, or not to show it. But I cannot do anything to depart from randomness than that.
And last question, maybe this one's for you, PG. Do you see Algorand use cases growing with commercial usage? For example, established businesses developing an algo, but do you think growth will continue with smaller developers as with most current projects?
I think a mix of both. Definitely, like you know, the crypto Web3 native developers are definitely what are pushing the industry right now. But as like larger enterprise and institutions start approaching cryptos in the terms of like building infrastructure, then I believe that Algorand is in the right place to be one of the top candidates for that. I would also argue that a lot of devs, a lot of like projects that are currently in some of the layer 2 solutions or some other layer 1s hopefully sooner rather than later, they'll acknowledge that like some of these solutions are actually not that scalable or not that secure or not that decentralized. So they will look at Algorand as a potential solution. I will not say names or anything, but there are definitely very fragile, both layer ones and layer twos out there. And it's pretty worrisome also for the whole industry.
Thanks, Pigi. In the interest of time, let's conclude the Q&A here. I'll provide our contact information later so you can connect with us directly to ask your questions. I just want to draw your attention to our student club bounty. So you can see here below, and Ronan will also paste it in the chat. So we have a special NFT bounty on Gitcoin where 3 winners will earn 250 algo, and we're looking for an NFT that represents the student club community. So you've seen our little badge that Tiger Chi created for us, but we're looking for something that depicts the spirit of the blockchain student clubs, because we think you guys are really special. You have the best ideas, you have the best knowledge of the space, you're close to trends. So we're looking for good NFT creations from you guys. The bounty will be up for about a month, and 3 winners will get 250 algos each, and we'll share them across our social channels. So we're very excited to see what you come up with. Please go to the link, check it out, sign up to take part, and we can't wait to see what you're going to bring us. And then, as Rona mentioned before, please join us on Discord. So you will see a section called Student Clubs, where we have a section for announcements and also our main chat. So please, go over there, introduce yourself again, network with your peers. We'll be on there for a little bit too to say hi. And I will paste the form on the Discord channel for you to sign up to get your badge. And as Tian posted in the chat too, so the NFT, every attendee will receive an NFT from us via Shuffle, and we'll contact you in a few days to get your information and let you know how you can participate in the Shuffle. I saw some questions earlier too about if we'll provide the slides from today. We definitely will. And I saw somebody else saying something about they put the wrong wallet address in their form. So there's absolutely no problem. We can help you with that. So at this point, here's Hugo's and my email address. Please reach out to us if you have any questions. Connect with us on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for being here today. It was really good to see you all on Discord in a minute and chat with you. And I'm really keen to get your feedback on the event today, see if there's any interest to do more of these happy hours and to get connected more, either virtually or in person. So really here to hear from you. On behalf of the team, very many thanks. It's really great to see so many people from all over the world come together on this exciting topic. So thanks. We'll hope to see you soon. See you in Discord.
Doro, just one quick question as well, or not a question, but I've just dropped into the chat as well. PG spoke about the Metaverse earlier on. Summer, our head of communities out of Asia, is actually running the Earth Day Metaverse event that's on Livestorm as well. So I've shared a link there. It's also posted regularly on our social channels and on our website as well. So come and check it out if you want to see the Algorand Earth Day Metaverse on Friday. Yeah, so we can all see each other on Friday again, just virtually. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Lovely. Take care. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.